Okay, so let's go ahead and get a quick writing update out of the way. Um, I'm at like 90 pages right now, which has, of course, been slow going. I feel like I've been writing like equally as much more as I have less. I know I've been writing less because with it being the winter now, I don't work on Saturdays. So that's a day I don't usually write on my days off just cuz it's like not within it's not within the flow of the day. Sometimes I will if it's like really inspiring, but like a work day is like all right, we're in work mode, and that transfers over to being at home where making some videos or writing and whatever have you kind of gets bundled into that. But on a day off, I'm in a different kind of work mode, and I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm so used to the whole like, okay, I have an hour to 2 hour block that's dedicated to writing. So because I can't write anymore after that because I have to go to work. And if I give myself the same amount of time on a day off, it's like, well, then I can't stop myself, and I don't have to stop. So then it doesn't feel right to keep going. I don't know. It's like, it just, and it doesn't make sense because it's like, yeah, oh, then I get to write more. Why wouldn't I want that? I don't know. So it's just, I'm in such the habit, and such the routine of writing in that specific time block that doing it outside of that feels taboo almost. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird, but I get into that. And my writing habits change so much. Like I want to. It's all right. So instead of going into the update on how the book is going, which I will get into, but I want to talk about this real quick because my writing habits have changed so significantly. When I first started writing the book series, okay, I was. I don't remember what was the first way. I think when I was like really getting into it, because I didn't start writing until after I graduated, because I wrote the short story, and then after like within the first year or two of graduating, I picked it up and I started going at it. Um, and I wrote a lot of that stuff. I think I wrote some of it in no, because I didn't write it before work. Because I was still getting up at like going in at 2 p.m., waking up at 1 p.m. or 1:30 to go to work. So I didn't really write in the morning that much. I did everything of mine at night because I was up late. So I think for me, writing for the most part was I would get into bed with an hour or two in my mind of writing time. So I would climb into bed, and you guys just get to have Christmas music in the background the whole time. I would get into bed with my laptop, and that's where I would do my writing. And then when I felt like I needed to finish, I would cap it off, and then I would play a podcast on iTunes or something, and then go to sleep. And that's pretty much where I did my writing almost exclusively, was in bed the hour or two before bed. Sometimes I get into like a writing fever and I would write for a couple hours. Um, and then sometimes like right after work, if I had like a lot of good ideas, a lot of notes I needed to get out of my head, a lot of stuff just churning, I would write as soon as I got out of work, or I would edit while I was playing a game in between lobbies. I would look over, do some edits, whatever have you. And then once I started like going to, once I started getting up a little bit earlier, instead of waking up half an hour to an hour before I had to go in the middle of the afternoon, I would start waking up at 10 or 11. And then at 11, oh wait, I had to sneeze. I would wake up at like 10:30, let my brain settle, and then I would start writing at 11. I'd write first thing in the morning. Very first thing in the morning, I started writing. And then it kind of transitioned to, okay, I'll start waking up at 9 or 10. I started naturally waking up a little bit earlier, and then I would do my writing at 12. And then it turned into like my sleep schedule would get pushed back more, so my writing times kept fluctuating a little bit. But regardless, I would always dedicate like an hour or so to writing almost every day if I could. which isn't a whole lot, but like that's just kind of how my flow works because I spend an hour or so, 1 to 2 hours writing, and the rest of my time background processing and scripting and getting inspiration from music, from TV shows, from conversations I'm having with real people. I pick up little things that inspire ideas. Somebody will say something, I'll be like, "Ooh, that's almost a quotable line. How can I can think of a place where a line like that could go, and I can make it fit, and then, ooh, I got a good quote. Look at that, you know." So that's just a lot of background processes that are happening, and then I spend that hour or two actually writing. And then I got to the point of going to the library to write because I started having problems actually being able to set aside the time, and when I did set aside the time, not get distracted. I got so distracted while at home that I couldn't fully write. So I had to like take away all the toys, go to the library, put on headphones and write. And I put on headphones because just to help me stay focused more, and I would play the same playlist over and over again. It was a playlist consisting of music by Akira Yamaoka, Petri Alenko, and oh, BB's getting so comfy. It was basically video game soundtracks. It was a soundtrack to Shadows of the Damned. It was the soundtrack to Alan Wake, and it was the Noragami soundtrack as well, the anime Noragami. It was all those kind of playing on a loop, and I would pretty much write until that playlist completed, roughly. And now I can't write with any noise. If there's any noise, it distracts me too much. So I was going to the library to write a lot, and then it became like, well, it's just out of the way, so I'm not going to do that. But I could use the library as like I can go in the middle of the day because I'm going to dedicate my time to the library, and I'm giving myself a finite amount of time because then I get to leave and go home, and I won't be distracted, so I'm getting the most out of it. And then the library time kind of transitioned away from doing like normal writing, and it turned into the first draft session. So once I got done with the blueprint section at home, because I was a lot more of like a streamlined flow. Then when I got into the nitty gritty and I started nailing down all the details and all the actual story as it would be presented, I went to the library to do that, and I would start using the library and being at home as the editing phase. Doing just actual spell check, format, grammar, all that stuff. And now I've transitioned away from the library simply because I don't want to waste the time and the gas and to go over there and set up in my laptop. I hate laptops. I fucking hate laptops because I ran a Lenovo L8 something. I ran a Lenovo for like fucking like 6 years, 6 or 7 years. That thing got so much use, and it worked like a charm. It did everything, literally everything. And I've got maybe 2 or 3 laptops after that. They've all been hot garbage. They all suck. They all go. You would think they had like a 2 GB RAM in them. Just abysmally, just dreadfully slow and clunky and just inconvenient. Every time I would go to the library and try to pull up Microsoft Word is like, are you sure you're activated? You're going to spend the next 25 minutes of the hour you have just signing back into Microsoft. Damn bunny hairs. Just signing back in because you're in, get this, you're in read-only mode and you can't do fuck all about it. Like every time, it became such a nuisance. So I just kept writing on my desktop, on my PC at home. But then I could get distracted. Because where I would write at the library would just be in this little box room with a heater between my feet and just in a little box at a desk with a chair. That's it. That's all I needed. That's what I want to write. Hell, I've tried to set up writing stations here at home in like my bedroom. When I had my office and my bedroom in separate rooms before Nin moved in, I put a little desk and a chair, like a little like small mini little table in the corner of my bedroom with my laptop sitting there, and that was my writing space. And I used it for a little bit. It did work out a little bit. I would sometimes come out and sit on the couch and try to write, but then I would get distracted by the bunnies. So, and even now, whenever I'm, writing at home, I need to like get up and walk away from the desk for like 5 or 10 minutes and then come back down to reset. So yeah, it is tough. But so I mean, on average, I get probably between 7 to 10 hours of writing a week, and it just, which is not, again, it's not a lot, but that's physically at the desk writing. That's just not a lot, and I wish I could bump that up more, but I do too many things, and everything has a different level of priority during that day. And if I did write that much, I would burn myself out so fast, because I've done that. And I think I'm at the point right now where I'm a little bit burnt out. Not like I've lost the luster for it. I'm just like almost dreading writing, and I take more breaks when I am writing because it's just, it's been so intense. It's been so brain intensive and a little bit emotionally intensive too. Actually, quite a bit emotionally intensive for a myriad of reasons. That it's just a lot of weight. I'm very burdened right now writing it in my own way. And that sounds dramatic, but it's not burdened in that way. It's just it's like, you ever see Deal or No Deal? All my cases are full and I don't know. I'm trying to open them and I keep opening my big numbers and I'm getting tired and I'm running low on numbers. I don't know, that's a bad analogy. It's just the first thing that came to my head. So, but yeah, so where I'm at right now, like I said at the beginning, I'm at like 90 or so pages, and I'm getting to the point where I'm advancing to the next stage, like the phase, like the end of phase 1 kind of thing. The end of, like, if it was in parts, this would be the end of part 1, and it's probably going to be in parts. I think that would pretty much be a perfect spot for part 1 to end, would be, I think, in probably 2 or 3 chapters, making it, roughly around 10 chapters in. I think I'm in chapter 6 right now. And it's just, the problem that I have with this is, not really a problem, the hang up, what slows me down, and what makes me not, I'm like writing at a crawl. Domino's looking at me. She's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't understand what a cell phone is, girl. You don't know what a cell phone is. And BB's chilling here. I feel like I'm writing at such a crawl. Like, I get maybe 2 pages, 2 complete pages, and it's like I'm exhausted because I'm writing character dialogue, and usually I can have character dialogue flow into between, like, just 2 normal ass people. Ooh, you good, Domino? You stretching? You got some hay stuck to your butt, I saw that. That's what you get for laying down in the litter box. I came out here and she was just fully just in the litter box. Girl, what are you doing? Stop looking at me like that. I gotta refill your water. So, yeah, it's just the character dialogue I'm stuck between is like, oh god, every single sentence is so, there's so much nuance behind it and so much depth behind it and so much implication, and not to mention, because I'm at the point in the story where it's like fantasy RPG, where like the beginning of this RPG game is killing a slime and like a stray mutant dog on the side of the road. It's like killing like the lowest level enemies, and the final boss of the game is God. It's like it's turned into that a little bit, and where I'm at is like there are cosmic machinations that have to have reasons and at least somewhat of an explanation behind them that I need to come up with all the reasons for. Like, let's say there's a gate to hell. Okay, there's a gate to hell, or there's gates and doorways to other realms and other dimensions and worlds and whatever. Maybe not worlds, but like other tears in different like pockets of whatever. Why can't those just be closed up? Well, some can, but why can't the main door to hell, essentially hell, be closed? We've seen it closed. We've seen both gates and stuff closed and cut off. So why is it a problem? Why does it have to be open? So like as I reach that point, because it's like, well, it has to remain open for the plot. But like now I have to, as I get to that point, I'm like, oh shit, why does it have to be open? I need to come up with a reason. And then I spend the next 3 days in the background trying to figure out a tangible reason and a believable reason as to why I can't just say, and we closed it. And that solves a lot of big problems. Oh, BB, I know, buddy. Sorry, I bumped your nose. But it's stuff like that. It's like as I'm reaching certain parts where, like, as I got there and I need it to be a device for the plot, I need it to be a lore thing. And it's like I'm writing stuff for, like, MacGuffin's sake or, like, bullshit's sake. Like, it's all stuff, it's all pieces of the overall puzzle. But as I get to those pieces of the puzzle, I think, I can't just not explain certain things, certain questions. And that's always been my hang up. It's like, well, what if somebody has this question? I need to have an answer for it, and I need it to be satisfactory. I can't have like a whatever kind of answer. I need to be satisfied enough with the answer for it to make sense, for me to move on from it. So a lot of times I get hitched up on that, and that takes a lot of time and effort and brain power. I spend my day at work just like coming up with things, or just coming up with the dialogue. I don't know. It's so much. It's so tough. So I think right now it's like I am exhausted by it, and it's the end of the year, but I can't take a writing break. That's the problem. It's like, oh, just take some space, take like a week or two off from writing. I can't, because then I lose the momentum of where I am. Because then I have to come back into it, and I have to spend 2 writing sessions rereading where I was and remembering where I was going with certain things, because I have so many notes right now that are pertinent to the current thing I'm doing. So if I come back, but like they're only written in the way that they are because I need to know what I'm doing now in reference to where I was and in future reference to where I'm going. So if I take a week break and I'm looking at the page that I'm currently on and I start trying to go ahead, I'm going to hit a snag because I didn't refer to my notes, which were the precursor to me getting to the thing I'm going to be editing, and I need the notes to set up on the page I started on again to make sure that when I get there, the notes I inserted on that page are working towards and making sense as the building blocks for where I'm going. So, taking a break doesn't really work. I can even feel the weight of coming back into writing just from not writing on like my one day off during the summer. When I take Monday off from writing, Tuesday is like, okay, re-immerse, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm in that point of writing, and I did a drawing recently. I did some concept art for the Lords of Court, which is a whole thing. Don't worry about it. I haven't posted that anywhere besides my own personal Facebook because I'm paranoid of AI. So, but I think it came out pretty cool. And I did make some music. I retroactively made Devil to the Damned music. I made Omnibus music, and I'm making music for this current book. So I've put out a bunch of random tracks, just kind of scattered around, just stuff I just felt like making in the moment. I definitely have no projections for where I could be by the end of the year, because it's not very far away. So I guess my projection for the end of the year, it was in that moment right there that I just realized I'm way closer to the end of the year than I thought I was. My projection for the end of the year is 4 more pages. Yeah. But I love it. Anyways, that's about it. That's a 20-minute video.